Welcome everyone to another episode of the Definitive Crusade. As always, I'm your host, joining the machine, Hughes, and joining me this time around from across the pond, we have Matthew. Matthew, how's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. How about you, Johnny?
I'm doing all right, actually.
Good.
With no Josh today, it means I can have my Diet Coke without him giving me grief.
Hey, I've got a Sprite going on.
Hey!
So, hey.
Yeah, so no Dr. Pepper here. It's a Dr. Pepper free zone.
Right.
Excellent. All right. Oh, while Josh is off enjoying his jollies and taking some time off to visit.
Well-deserved time off. He does
Definitely.
a lot.
Man,
He does a lot.
He does more than the audio guy. The audio guy does nothing. He just sits on his ass drinking Dr. Pepper. That's what the audio guy does. Yeah. But Josh, bless him, Josh puts a lot of work in. He's a good guy. So he's taking some well-earned vacay time. He's actually going, I think he's going to the Dr. Pepper factory, if not the home of Dr. Pepper, to do a special live pod of the Dr. Pepper podcast that he does. So
I think he did say something about doing that. I don't exactly remember, but I believe, if I remember correctly, he did. So
yeah, cool. Excellent.
It's pretty cool.
All right. So it's just you and me, and you with your fancy damn backdrops going on there.
Look. As I mentioned, I'm about to start streaming Mass Effect, and I just wanted the whole setup going on. We're about to enter the space zone. It's gonna be fun between streaming Destiny and Mass Effect. I'm gonna be in the outer space area, the outer worlds.
Cool.
Oh, I should stream Outer Worlds. That's a good one too.
So I don't think we covered this off when we did the intro show a little while ago. So I know that you're into Magic the Gathering. I know you're into comic books. So you're a video gamer as well.
I do stream. My streaming times are, whenever I can at the moment because my work schedule. I work second shift, so my work schedule is always up and out. But my main days are Tuesdays and Saturdays. So
all right, sweet, excellent. And do you have any particular genre of game? You don't stream Tetris for anything like that.
No. Maybe I'll stream Uno one of these days. Get a team together to stream Uno. I don't know.
Tetris, I am so sure my age when I said Tetris.
Hey, look. It's fun. But yeah, I stream all sorts of stuff. Definitely sci-fi is my biggest thing right now because between Destiny, Mass Effect. I have been streaming a lot of Valheim lately. Valheim is kind of like Nordic Minecraft. It's a lot of fun.
See, you turned me off when you said Minecraft. It's like,
look, I said Nordic Minecraft. All right, because you're a Viking and you're trying to.
So you're mine with swords instead of axes. Great.
Yeah.
And on that note, all right, okay. So let's get to the comic books. With a man down, it means we do have extra time to get to 4 books.
Hey, 4 books today instead of the usual 3.
Yes, so a wide range of different. Well, I say a wide range of different things. It's DC, so full well we're going to get an element of this guy.
A certain person. A certain person.
Boom, there we are. So let's bring up the stats for this book. This is Batman the Detective #2 of 6, written by Tom Taylor, art by Andy Kubert, inks by Sandra Hope, colors by Brad Anderson, whose work you'll have seen on many a DC event book, and letters by, I want to say the up and coming because he's not really linked to any major studios, but that's a bit of a disservice. But Clem Robbins has been doing fantastic lettering for a number of books on a number of different publishers. So good to see his name here getting some much needed recognition. We looked at this book already, the first issue, and we were quite universal in the fact that we quite liked it. How's the second issue hitting you? Is it going well?
I think it continued to just go above and beyond. Once again, the artwork is marvelous. Starting out with the big scene of the big band, and if you went back and watched the live action movies with Christian Bale, he has that famous scene where he's holding the guy by the rope and he goes, "Who are you working for? Where are they?" And that's what
Swear to me.
Swear to me. Where are the other drugs going? Yeah,
Do I look like a car?
that's exactly what I thought of when I saw this scene. It kind of threw back to that, but
Good shout.
the artwork on it, I really like this style of Batman. I just really do. His goggles just add a very specific touch to the usual suit, and I just can't get past it. I like the goggles.
So here's the thing. And it's only just occurred to me right now because in the mainstream continuity books, he's a little bit skinty now, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Wayne. He's a little bit less rich.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't have the same level of gadgets and uniforms and stuff like that he used to have. Although there are a couple of instances in this book, and you're like, really, still. But I think this outfit, because we talked about it being very much based on Nightmare Batman from Batman versus Superman. I think it's more utilitarian because they're like Catwoman's goggles he's got in his head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for like his special cowl vision and detective vision and stuff.
Right.
And that jacket acts like a cape. Is this Batman on Skid Row?
Who knows? And it definitely seems like he has a lot more places to like put stuff rather than the usual skin tight outfit. So
he's got pockets?
Yeah, Batman has pockets. Oh my god, that's his real superpower. He has pockets.
Stop the press.
But then it jumps over to Squire here.
Mm-hmm.
I love the character of Squire already. It's not Robin, but it's essentially London Robin.
Yeah,
and I like the way the character is portrayed. They're trying to basically have the character like almost be a smaller Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely picked up the rough and gritty version. I'll live alone.
Yeah, just bless.
But I like the character. I'm trying to think of other astounding points about Squire.
No, I mean, so are you aware of the history of Knight and Squire goes back a while, to be honest. So this isn't the original Squire. Beryl, the girl in the bed, she's the original Squire.
Okay,
Batman Incorporated storyline, which is where she probably got their most fame from. But they've been around prior to that. Grant Morrison did some work with him.
Right.
I
didn't know who she was, so I figured it was like another Barbara Gordon situation where she got hurt, was that side, and then had a replacement come up.
No, so basically, back a few years back, Batman did this thing called Batman Incorporated, where every country had to have a Batman or an endorsed Batman. And London's Batman was Knight and Squire. All right, so Beryl, the redhead. So Knight's being killed, and Squire's taking his place. So she's now the Knight, and of course, she needs to go and find a new Squire, which is where the new dreadlock girl comes in as the new Squire. So
right. Okay.
Old-timey Hughes here for action, sir.
Hey, well, thank you for a little clarification because I didn't know who she was. I just kind of rolled with it. I was like, oh, hey, character that Batman knows. Cool. Yeah. Maybe. Oh, excuse me. Had to burp there.
It's all right. It's bodily functions and all that.
Bodily functions, it's fine. But once again, the artwork, I think it's wonderful. Yeah. Absolutely wonderful. The contrast between the lights and darks. These new bat suits. I don't. What did they say that group was? Okay, maybe they may have not said the group name, but they were going on about equilibrium.
Yeah.
And I think their suits really show a nice equal contrast between lights and darks, especially where the artwork has been done. Really well done artwork.
Definitely. I agree with you on this because I think this female bad bat girl here, she is super hot.
I was going to say,
I was like, you know what? Bring her into the fold. I'm sold. That suit rocks. She looks great in that suit. It reminds me, obviously the colours not, but the style reminds me very much of the 70s, 80s Batgirl, the original Barbara Gordon suit. It's inverted, of course,
Right.
whereas Barbara's was black with the yellow boots and the yellow symbol. This is totally inverted of that. But to me, when you talk about Batgirls, you see the different sort of costumes that Barbara Gordon's had to go through New 52 and onwards. There's nothing wrong with just a simple line like this, because this rocks.
It looks really good. It looks really good. She looks really good.
We're going to take a break in a minute. Don't worry.
You're right. I gotta get a drink. No, but
no, Dr. Pepper.
I really want to know more about this group, this Batman-esque group that he is trying to hunt down and trying to find. They are interesting. And we saw in a previous panel where they're willing to kill, whereas Batman, Batman's one rule is don't do that. Yeah. So it's really well done.
I agree. This book reads like a Batman book should read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no histrionics. The art is gritty. It's functional. That's not in a bad way, but it looks like it's not over the top, where sometimes you get, like, especially on the main book with Jorge Jimenez, you get like the kind of elongated body styles, and it looks great for like graphic art, and it does, but when you're wanting something, because I always like Batman as a grounded character rather than fights of fancy. I think that this style works really well. It does look a little bit rougher, I think, a bit grimier and grittier than the previous book, and that might have something to do with the fact that Kubert's got an inker this time around. So there is kind of the meshing of the two different styles there.
Right.
But honestly, the book still, I think it's absolutely great. The confrontation on the balcony with Ducard and the female Bad Bat. And their gang just looks great. All of it looks great, and it's a kind of like a mystery thing going on. Although, admittedly, I'm probably thinking when Ducard says something like "You're one of the two best people I've ever trained," pretty much the girl's going to be the other one.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
But you know what? That's fine. I'm okay with that. I think Tom Taylor's kind of really doing a grand job on this book. And it shows that he has his finger on the pulse for the Bat mythos. And for me, I thought he was my dark horse for replacing Tom King when King left after issue 75.
Right.
Obviously Tynion got the gig, and you can't really argue with Tynion either, to be honest, for Batman after his work on Detective. So, no, all in all, some really good panels, some really good art that really rocks. Surprise end with who gets shot. Again, really good. Nice mix of styles. The panel, there's evocativeness in this. So Batman holding the card is very evocative of that whole Bruce holding his dad when he's shot in the alley, back in Crime Alley. Starts off with criminals are a cowardly, superstitious lot right at the start of the book. So from a homage point of view, this book has pretty much got it going on. It's showing you Taylor's got his finger on the pulse. I don't know about you, but I'm quite excited about the next few issues.
Me too. I'm definitely excited for 3 to come out. I really want to read it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get a little bit more insight as to who these new people are.
Well, hold on. I mean, let's be honest. It's a DC book, so there's going to be a filler issue in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So we'll get that, I guess. I imagine that number 3 will be the redressing of the balance, leading number 4 being up to the final kind of penultimate issue, and then go from. I'll set the arcs across. I don't know, but I don't know. I just think for a book that hasn't got a lot of press, considering it's a Bat book, I think this is going to be an absolute gem of a book, genuinely. But
definitely seems like it. Definitely seems like it.
Definitely seems like it. All right. Okay. One down.
One down.
Right. So, tell us about the jacket that you're wearing there, Matthew.
All right. So
I called it an Indiana Jones jacket, and I almost got a whip crack to see how wrong I was. So you tell me about this jacket.
So anybody who has been watching our previous episodes with me in it knows that I love the Red Hood. You can actually see kind of in the background where I have my helmet, my cosplay helmet in the back on my shelf, along with Agumon, because Digimon. But anyways, you know, I love Red Hood, and so this is my Red Hood cosplay jacket, and that's just kind of that's why I bought it. Plus, it's really comfy. Like
Cool.
I tend to sleep in this. Like most people, like put on hoodies or something like PJs. I like wearing this jacket. You know, I'll put on my shorts, I'll throw on this jacket, and I'll just pass out.
So
It's really comfy.
When you say cosplay as Red Hood, are you talking Red Hood from the comic books, Red Hood from the movie, from the cartoon movie? Which
just a version of the Red Hood is essentially.
All right, cool.
That's the Shadow Rider helmet that I believe. There's a guy. I love his stuff. His name's Joey Red Hood. I believe he designed that helmet. I could be wrong.
Okay, cool.
But I check him out on Instagram. I believe he has a TikTok too now, where he does his cosplay stuff. His
TikTok too, is that something else, or is that just TikTok as well?
TikTok 2, Electric Boogaloo.
All right. So you talk about a version of Red Hood that you've got going on. Seems that's quite a nice little segue to pick into one of your books, and it is this Future State Gotham. Let me run the credits, and then we can get into this book. So it's written by Joshua Williamson of The Flash fame and Dennis Culver. Art by, and I apologize right now because I know I'm going to get this wrong. I'm going with Giannis Milonaganis. Is why I'm going with the art.
Sounds good enough to me.
Pretty all right, isn't it? Letters by ALW's Troy Pateri. So it's a Red Hood book.
It is.
I think I would be remiss if I did not let you go first.
Yep. So Red Hood. First off, the front cover. I love the artwork on the front cover. Red Hood with his rifle, his sickle, and this new sleek outfit that's and kind of made me think of Tron, the Tron style.
I see that definitely
when I first saw it. But Future State has been a running series for a while. I can't name all the books off the top of my head.
There's a fair few of them.
There's a fair few of them. And the very first thing that caught me off guard was in all the other books, it's kind of like the front cover, shiny. It's got a bunch of neon colors, a lot of bright lights, and then we jump over into this, and all of it is in black and white. Yeah, it's like, can we not afford it? Is somebody's wage that high that we couldn't afford a colorist? Is that what we're saying? I don't know if they couldn't afford a colorist or if this was a writer's or artist's choice.
It's probably artist's choice, to be fair. Yeah, it does definitely make it stand out.
It definitely makes it stand out from all the other issues.
There you go.
But for me, that vibrant change was a turnoff from this book.
Ooh.
It actually, like, I was fully going, it was like, yeah, it's bright colors, Red Hood, let's go. And then it was like, I liked it for the fact that it was a throwback to, like original comics. Original comics are all black and white, no colorings and all that kind of stuff. But to go with this vibrant change for a character such as Red Hood, whose biggest thing is like the color of his outfit, Red Hood, it didn't sit right with me. And so reading through each page as I went through, it was a turnoff for me. It kind of made it more difficult to read as I went through. But along with the lack of color, they did have some, I think it also allowed them to have a lot more interesting art style to it. Because as we can see, Red Hood swinging his sickle and his chain, his blade, taking down
Ventriloquist.
The ventriloquist. Thank you. I was like Machine Gun Kelly, but that's not it. That's not right at all.
No, it's ventriloquist and Scarface. Yes.
Yep. His change in outfit. I did actually like the style of outfit that he went with.
Yeah.
It definitely. Go ahead.
Sorry, I know I've jumped in. I really apologize. It's interesting because he starts out in this mask, which is very much the red. Well, we'd assume because of the lack of colors, it's a Red Hood mask, but with the Robin mask over the top. In the past, when I've seen Red Hood, it's been the other way around, where he wears his little domino mask under the Red Hood. Were you happy with that?
It definitely, like I said, it was an artist choice, a change in style. I did like the style of mask. I did like this style of mask. It just it threw me off. It makes me think more of Iron Man.
So here's a question. That's a great point. Just looking at this panel now, where we're at now, see where he's cocked his fist just to punch Wesker there. If you didn't tell me this was a Red Hood book, that looks like Nightwing.
It kind of does.
So you're right. I think you're right. The colors, you need the colors for this book because the two characters can be so similar, but no,
they can. It's just that Nightwing, his usual mask is just the vigilante across the eyes, usually. But
we're in future state where there's face recognition stuff now. So
yep, and that's another key thing is that the people, part of the story, anyways, is that he is part of the peacekeepers. I believe I wrote down here.
Yes.
The peacekeepers that go around, and they're the ones that are essentially hunting down vigilantes, heroes, villains that all wear masks because they're the ones who keep the peace. And so anybody who does that is kind of like the vigilante of vigilantes. If that makes any sense. But basically, all of the Bat family, he is trying to hunt down and bring to justice. Batman is gone. Somebody caused an explosion that killed a lot of people to etch this bat symbol in there. He is trying to find out who did it. Oh man, there's a lot that happens. That goes on. We see at the end of the book where he actually meets up with the Bat family, and they all hate him. Wow. They all hate him for joining this group.
Well,
that is, which kind of sucks because he just reconciled with all of them.
Well, like there's a thing. There's a huge plot point in there, isn't there? Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, the book's out now, so we can get into it a little bit more detail. There's no spoilers kicking on here, right? So. I agree. The colors, it's a bit of a throwback. It's like, oh my god! I agree that the colors need to be in this book. You know, the future state idea is that it's that like neo Gotham. To see how well it's been done, check out the Catwoman books with the art by Otto Schmidt. The colors in that book are just gorgeous all the way through. But Jason's he's on the inside, isn't he? That's the thing. Because he has this little chat with a mysterious person in an alley there,
which we don't know who that is. He's just talking about
he's getting them set up for like you need to infiltrate them, you need to take them down from the inside, and then when you come across the final pages and you see the family. Notice by the way the Batman Forever is playing at the Monarch. Really. Could have played a better Batman movie. But there you go. And you can see where I was getting, without the leather jacket, that could have been Nightwing with a face recognition thing on. You've got the rest of the Bat family. You've got Spoiler down there. You've got Robin in the background. Whoever that person is, shady at the back.
I'm not familiar with the very far back person. But I definitely recognize Nightwing and the others.
Yeah.
It's just
Go on.
It was a difficult read. Like, I love Red Hood. I love his comics. But this one in particular was a difficult read for me simply because the artwork threw me off so much. The lack of color in this vibrant landscape.
You know what? I kind of agree with you. It's not just, for me, it's not just the colors. There's too many different styles competing with each other. The panel we're looking at right now screams Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns, you know? The bit where he's in, so look, you've got Sin City there with the whole break of the blinds, the Venetian blinds. The big bike at the bottom of this panel is Akira. Some of the motion is Japanese inspired. It's like, I get it, you're really talented, but can you pick a style and stick with it, please? Because all these different styles don't always merge. I mean, for example, you can see here these really nice fine lines around the Red Hood character. They're really, really fine. But then when you get to the back of the book, sorry, I know I could just do this, like, just go straight to the back. Boom. When you get to the back of the book, I'm too far. Oh no, where have I gone?
A little too far. That's the second story.
Is it? I didn't even know it was a second story.
There is. It's the third mask. It's a small short story of Batman developing his split personality.
Cool. So again here, so to change the pace again, you've got Nightwing, and he's really bold. He's really, you know, and they've got to do that because it's blue, I suppose. But it's like, it just really, pick a style. Are you going clean lines or are you going heavy lines?
I think they did that just to emphasize the power and presence of Nightwing in that situation.
Fair enough.
But I have a quote by Culver here.
Go on, then.
He says, "To the Bat family and the rest of Gotham, he, the Red Hood, is the top mask hunter working for the authoritarian magistrate that runs the city with an iron fist. But really, Jason is working undercover to gather evidence against them under the guidance of a shadowy benefactor yet to be revealed." That kind of sums up the story, is that he is essentially playing espionage for whoever this shadowy figure is.
And the problem with this story is that it's the exact same storyline that they used in Oracle and the Batgirl's Future State book, where Steph was undercover in the prison. It's exactly the same story. So
maybe they'll throw us in for a loop in the next issue and explain a little bit more, but I really hope they bring back the colors.
I wouldn't hold your breath on that. I've seen a lovely art gem variant cover for number 2, which is a grayscale Batgirl. So
okay.
So I think the grayscale's here to stay. Sorry. Right, 2 down, 2 to go. We've hit the midway point, so let us have one of our adverts.
Is it the dancing guy?
You know what? I think we'll have this one.
Ooh.
Check out this one. See if any faces pop up that you recognize.
I'm scared.
Who was that young dude without the beard?
I don't know. I don't know who they are. I don't recognize either of those. I don't recognize them at all.
Oh, none of them. Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god. All right, fair enough. There you go. The jank thing.
We're talking about facial recognition. No one can recognize me when I grow this in.
Maybe that's the reason why Josh took all his hair from here to put down here.
Maybe.
Oh, don't tell him I said that.
Oh,
We love you.
I definitely will.
Yeah, feel
He's
free,
already
yeah,
notified.
yeah.
Immediately
Hashtag
text
Johnny
him.
said. Yeah, that's right. All right, okay. Next up is a book. Well, actually, you know what? We don't do a lot of love for this team. I don't know why, other than the fact that the books aren't always fantastic. Ironically, though, this is a digital first book. So let me get the share on and I'll get you the stats for this.
All right.
We are talking about Justice League Last Ride. And this is written by Chip Zdarsky, who you may recognize from all his work over at Migraine.
Mm-hmm.
Art by Miguel Madonca, colors by Enrique Angioloni, and letters by And World Design. Whew, took a couple of guesses on that one. It's another alternative DC Universe story. If we hadn't seen enough already from the Injustice series, Deceased, Metals, and of course Future State, we get another one. It says Last Ride. I can only but hope this is the last alternative DC Universe story. I'm probably going to be disappointed, but hey, what did you think of this book? You can't tell me my intro was that good.
Look, first, I like the book. I did.
Uh-huh.
I definitely found it read easier than than Red Hood or Gotham or Future State Gotham.
Yeah.
It covers the story of Superman getting tired. You know, Superman is always the guy that saves the day. He's always the one that saves the world, saves the universe. He's Superman. He's Superman. Yep, that's exactly it. And that's what we start out discussing is that he's Superman. He is always there to help save somebody. But these constant battles, constant fights, they're starting to wear down on him. They're starting to, make him grow tired. And so we see where he gets a message, or the Justice League gets a message to gather him and Bruce Wayne, Batman.
Don't tell your secret identities.
Oh no! But him and Batman have had an argument, had a fight in a recent issue, and they're basically fighting and quarreling like children, as Wonder Woman tends to put it. But basically, the Justice League is called. They all gather. They find out what the situation is and how. John is the one that calls them all to the Justice Tower for a situation, and they're like, "Oh, what's going on?" Well, it turns out they've captured the main man himself, Lobo. And he is asking them to basically protect and keep Lobo alive until the day of his trial. The reason being is that if they can prove that the Green Lantern Corps is powerful enough to keep Lobo alive until his trial, then that will allow them to establish basically a base for the Corps near the Earth, I think they said they wanted it to be on the moon. And that would allow them to no longer need a Justice League. And so Superman is kind of all for this idea. He's like, finally, I can get some fucking sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's an interesting take. I like the story. Like I said, him and Batman were quarreling. They ended up throwing words around, and Superman's like, "You've already figured out how we should do this, where we should hide him." Batman says, "See ya."
Yeah, adios.
See ya.
Hate to be, yeah.
Hal Jordan makes an appearance.
Yeah.
I love Hal Jordan. He's one of my favorite characters in DC.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll find him as dull as dishwater.
Well, him and Kyle Rayner.
I like Kyle. I like Kyle. I agree with you. Kyle is
the first White Lantern.
Well, there's that, but Hal Jordan always, apart from the Emerald Dawn series, Hal Jordan always seems like the minute he gets the power ring, he knows everything. And
Yeah, true.
that kind of annoys me a little bit. I know that's part of his character, the fact that he's arrogant and cocky and all that. But I like Kyle when he didn't know what he was doing. He had confidence issues when he was on the Justice League.
He was a lot more humanistic.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's part of the popularity of people like Jess, because Jessica Cruz makes an appearance as this, and you know for a fact Jess has had her issues with mental health.
Mhm.
From that point of view, so it just gives them a more rounded sort of appeal, because superheroes should be fallible.
Mhm.
So yeah, I agree with you on that one. For
But
Kyle, at least.
kind of at least.
Yeah.
But story continues. Batman is fighting Dr. Freeze. He goes to take cover behind a pillar, and then Superman comes in and is like, "Hey, I saved the day. Let's talk."
Yeah.
And and once again, it cuts over to them talking, arguing, trying to settle differences from their previous fight. And
they come up with a plan. They come up with a plan, don't they?
They come up with a plan.
Yeah. So
And I did like that scene where Superman's like, "I've had it with you," and just smacks the giant penny across the Batcave. Just
yeah.
The giant coin.
Yeah.
But,
what do you think of the art? Because I thought the art in this book, considering it's digital first, I thought the art in this book was absolutely spot on.
it was
Everybody looks who they're supposed to look like. Batman looks particularly gothic-y. I mean, that's a great Superman panel there. Batman coming there with his batarangs flying around like nobody's business. It looks like an old school DC book.
It does. And you wouldn't be able to tell it was digital first. It was really well done. It's really, really well done. I'll keep my statement short and simple. It was really well done.
I agree wholeheartedly with this. I think the story is intriguing. We want to know what happened to John Jones, because he's the reason why the League aren't together. It's always been said that the Martian was always the heart and soul of the Justice League. Take him away, and there's a lack of cohesion. It's good seeing some of the old characters again. I'm not going to lie. The fact that we get Jess. We get Jessica Cruz, which is a good shout. We also get Alfred back. Because he sat in the Batcave. There's just things going on. We get mentions of Robin in there and Batgirl. So this is like old school DC, and it just makes my heart warm with the fact that it's just so well put together. I am disappointed that this book isn't. It's actually twofold. I'm disappointed that this book isn't print first, but I'm absolutely over the moon that digital are getting the respect they deserve by giving digital readers something like this, rather than the mediocre, half-assed kind of stuff like Legends of the Dark Knight that we looked at a little while ago. You know, so hats off. Although I do have one question. Also, Wonder Woman looks fantastic there. Just want to say that.
Look, I think this generation, like specifically, like this era of people are all into like the Amazon women. Because if you look at the Resident Evil game that's been released lately, people are just going head over heels for Lady Dimitrescu and the 9 foot tall giant woman that she is. And so, like, Amazon women are pretty okay.
I do have a question about this panel that we're looking at now. I mean, how super long are the super sheets in the fortress? Because, I mean, he's floating, and he doesn't lose blankets, and Lois doesn't lose blankets. It's like, come on, man. I don't know about you. I turn over once in my bed, and that's it. I'm out there. But this, no. What's all that about?
That's why I keep my pajamas on, like my jacket, because I'd turn over and I'd lose all of that. All my blankets are gone.
Oh, dear.
That's funny.
No.
Censorship is made easier.
I don't care. If you look, for me, I don't get it. It's like you see like bare-chested characters all the time. I mean, look at that. He's bare-chested. I'm all right with that.
But he still has pants on.
Yeah, well, but everything's hidden. The knees hide it unless it's like super long. But that's another story that's a Black Label book.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. Right. So, our last book, we've gone from the sublime to the potentially ridiculous. We've looked at this book previously. I think this is probably our first show, wasn't it, when we looked at this? The first time
it was. It was the first time.
So you kind of want to revisit where we're up to on the story. We're talking about Joker number 3. Boom, there it goes. I'll give you the rundown for the credits because that's my job, it seems. Credits, where we are. Written by James Tynion IV, art by Gwilym March, colors by Arif Prianto, and letters by Tom. Do not call me the ice cream, Napolitano. It took me ages to say that correctly. I'm very pleased with myself.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you, man. It's my mutant ability is to say names wrong. It's either something in the alphabet or something in my English accent, but whatever happens, it's just gone. If I get Napolitano right, I'm like, hey, check me out. Because I say it, I want to say Neapolitan. That's just totally different.
We have a Neapolitan theme going on in our main thing, right? In our main screen.
Yeah. Have we? What?
Yeah, we've got white and red.
We just need some
white
chocolate.
And pink. We just need some chocolate there.
Yeah.
Who knows? He may have shit himself. I don't know there.
I think Jim Gordon does later in the book. All right. So, what did you think? Are you still entrenched?
I'm still entranced with this book. I absolutely love that this story is following Jim Gordon throughout his story with the Joker and him dealing with his past. Like as we've seen in the first opening couple pages, it's him reliving that moment of the bad day. And we all know the monologue, or at least I know the monologue of the Joker when he has Jim Gordon there and he's like, "You're doing what?"
Whoa. Don't say it. See, now you've primed it. Now I have to. By podcasting law, when somebody says something like, "Well, I know this," then you're just gonna have to put your money where your mouth is. So let me just let's get rid of this for the time being.
No. Okay, you caught me. I lied. I didn't. I don't actually. I don't have it memorized. I just know it. Okay.
Yeah. Go. No. Go.
You caught me. I caught me in 4K. You got me red-handed.
Red hooded.
Right.
Red hooded.
You caught me red hooded. I don't have the monologue memorized anymore.
I
just know that beginning phrase. It's like, "You're doing what any sane man in your situation will do. You're going mad." And does his little Joker laugh.
That's perfect. Well done. Round of applause for Matthew.
Well, I do have the entire memories monologue he does from The Killing Joke.
All right, okay.
That one's stuck. But we do see Jim Gordon talking about his bad day with the Joker, which is that's when he was trying to like break Gordon.
Yeah.
And nice little flashback there. Once again, the art style's dark, gritty, grimy. The contrast on the Joker's face is really well done. All the details are really well done in that scene.
I just want to ask you a quick question, just quickly, because I don't want to interrupt your flow. Have you checked this panel out? Look, he's got 2 green eyes. That's all I'm saying. Right, Carrie?
Yep. He has 2 green eyes. Later in the book, we see where he has a green eye and a pink eye. If I remember correctly, he was stabbed through one, and that's why that color is off. he was either stabbed or shot. I don't remember exactly which one it
Mhm.
was, but he had damage to one of his eyes. But lovely, lovely. Then we go to the next scene where it's him and Pimento lady. I don't remember her name. Pistachio. It was something. It was something. But basically, him and her are talking. She's basically once again giving him the rundown, making sure he has everything that he needs for when he goes and starts trying to hunt down the Joker. And he makes a nice little witty comment, which I kind of liked. He's like, 25 million. What if I decide to just take it all and just have myself a nice little vacation? And she was like, okay, do it.
Yeah.
We hope that's why we have $25 million for you. We hope you have a little bit of, you treat yourself is what she says. We hope you treat yourself. And so keep going, and it's on the plane. I want to know who this guy is, right? This guy he's met this guy before. He's been the chauffeur, does not talk to the guy. I want to say he's like a zombie or something because he just eerily quiet, just mask covering the face, sunglasses, hat. We don't know anything about him. He's just a person, a really big guy. Then Gordon's trying to figure out this iPhone. He's like, how do you do this thing? La 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 la, old man stuff.
Yeah,
and it makes me, a young man, kind of laugh a bit. Is that you, Johnny? Is that you trying to figure out phones? Just
fine. If you're a bit like that about it, I don't know how you dare. Harsh. I'll tell you, I have quite a clever phone. Thank you very much.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm on an Xperia 1. Thanks a lot. I might be going to a Samsung Note. Who knows?
Oof. Hey, do it. I have a Samsung Galaxy. Hey, Galaxy. Sticking with the space theme. Anyways, moving on.
It's like we planned this.
You can't make this up. This is all on the fly, baby.
He's not lying.
You're right. I'm a human. I'm not a lion.
Okay, so Gwilla March draws really attractive for the most part. Babs looks great. Our second spoiler appearance of the week, everybody.
Hey!
Yeah.
But
so really good. However, that said,
can we go back to Barbara for a second?
Always, yeah.
Not really for any reason. I just want to look at her.
So that said, as gorgeous as they all are, Gwilla March has managed to make thigh highs look unattractive. There you go. Just saying. You know, bad fashion choice on that one. Hey ho.
It's like you want that little section of your leg to be cold. I don't understand.
Well, it's just kind of saying, well, if this much of my face is, that much of my leg is.
Right. Now, I will have to claim ignorance here.
Okay.
When I first saw the character, I was like, oh, Black Manta. And then I was like, no, wait, that's not Black Manta whatsoever. And so I'm not familiar with this character. And the reason that I thought Black Manta was ship, water, red eyes. But wasn't
she introduced in issue 2? Isn't she? She's a female, Bane. She's an acolyte of Bane.
That's right. She is. Oh my gosh. I can't. Yep, that is. She was undergoing the Venom, one or two panels that we saw her in. She was undergoing the Venom treatment.
There you go.
Bing. My two brain cells connected.
Did he? Ding 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 ding
yep.
ding ding.
So there we go. Okay.
Cool. Glad I could help.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the book. I don't know. Here we go. We get to be Magnum PI. Here. Mm-hmm. This is cool, isn't it?
Gordon's doing his detective work, doing a really good job on it, and he's like, "Oh, I'd better ask questions on this house up here because that's the last place the Joker was seen." Knock knock. Oh, I'm trying to find this person, and Joker goes, "Jimbo, is that you?"
It's funny because the reason my wife and I we love the reboot of Hawaii Five-O, and we love the reboot of Magnum. And the reason we like it is because over here it plays on a Sunday night. You've got work the next day. You don't want anything that taxes your brain. And the leaps in detective logic that they make in these shows are absolutely so like, the guy's a left-handed person, so let's arrest the first left-handed person we see. It's like that kind of no thought to it. And that's just reminded me of this when he goes, I'll just knock on the door, boom, 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 and like there he is. It's like, come on.
There he is. Yep. And Gordon, as we can see from his face, is totally taken aback by the fact that the Joker is right in front of him now. And once all those memories that we saw in the very first couple pages come flooding back to him, he's like, Joker! Pulls out his pistol, immediately is trained on by like 6 other guys with rifles. And Joker's like, calm down, everybody. It's not Jimbo's an old friend. And then they have a jolly good time as the Joker does. He's actually explaining the situation to Commissioner Gordon. Gordon's like, I'm hunting you down because of this reason. And he's like, well, the funny thing is, the biggest joke of all is that I didn't do that. Yeah. And we actually see the Joker get angry about it. He loses his smile.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how this all plays out. Because that little war is coming, those clash of armies. They're all going to meet together. Somebody's already, which the Bane lady has already taken down people. Yeah. And now he's like, all right, time for some fun. Yeah. And brings out his pistols. And as you can see, one green eye, one pink eye, because...
Yeah. Do you think that this Joker's based on the Suicide Squad Joker? The way he's kind of dressed and the kind of, that kind of eccentric gangster style rather than the more madcap mayhem that we normally get when it comes to the Joker.
I can see it. I can see it.
It's just kind of an observation. I've got to be honest. When we said we'd pick this book, I was kind of like, oh, really? I was like so over it, and it didn't help that it starts off for me with the Killing Joke homage, because it's like I've read the Killing Joke umpteen times. It's a great book. It's a polarizing book. Some people love it, some people hate it, but for me, you've got to read it within the mindset of the time it was written. You can't use any societal rules today and then run it back over the rule from 20 years ago. It doesn't work like that. Right. Otherwise, you'd be saying that Star Trek, the original series, the special effects are shocking. They're not. They're great for TV at that time. And trust me, I'd rather see models of spaceships than CGI any day of the week. But that's fine. So you kind of got to bear that in mind when you go to this. So yeah, I've been there, done that. Yeah, fine. I like the Kelly Jones inspired Joker look. Yeah, it's fine. And then I was kind of all right. I'm like, whatever. And then the turning point for me was a page. That was the page that got me involved. Not because I'm a huge spoiler fan, and I am a huge spoiler fan, but it just added, I don't know, a level of resonance to the story. It wasn't just like a gimmick story for let's give Jim Gordon something to do for a while.
Right.
It actually feels like this has meaning by bringing Barbara back into the story again for the second time, because she was in the last issue. You kind of get this. You're getting like a bigger slice of the action. It has more impact, more resonance. Cass in a Batgirl costume rather than the orphan suit. The thumbs up, like that a lot. But then I kind of lost the way again when we got to Magnum PI time. I was kind of a little bit, what's going on? And that's actually something that I enjoyed, was his actually reading through his thought process. Yeah. I don't know. I just think, look, there's not a lot to this story if it wasn't for Jim Gordon's monologue. Yeah. And I'm not sure if that monologue over time is going to get boring in contrast to the action that we know has to be coming soon. So that's my only concern.
Well, it's kind of like what you said earlier. Most DC comics have that filler, a little bit of filler, and so that's what this could be, is that little bit of filler. There's not much, just not much of a story as much as it is Gordon's inner monologue in trying to work out how to find the Joker. But now that he's found the Joker, the story may be picking up. And if we look at the title of the next issue, it's called War Buddies.
Yeah.
So maybe we're getting something along the lines of Jim Gordon actually teaming up with the Joker.
Joker and Jimbo go to war. Dun, dun, dun.
That would be something. That would be interesting.
A quick shout out. There is a second story in this book. It's the Punchline book. Written by James Tynion, Sam Johns is in there. Art by Mirko Andolfo. I have to say, I'm not sure anybody's reading this book. For that,
I am, because
I
figured I'd continue it.
Do you regret that?
Well, the correct me if I'm wrong, Bluebird. It's an interesting story on her. And this character named Punchline, who is basically taken the Joker as kind of what's the word I'm looking for? An idol?
Well, yeah,
not really an idol, but kind of like a guidance counselor.
You're absolutely right. And Punchline made her appearance in the Joker War, in the Batman run, where she's the new squeeze, the new Moll, as it were, replacing Harley in the Joker's affections. Although, to be fair, it feels like the affection's more one-sided from Punchline to him, not to him to her. I don't know. I think Punchline's an interesting character. I'm just not enjoying the whole Bluebird bit.
I want to stick with it because I want to see how it goes. Mostly because I'm a curious fella. And it ended the comic with her being like, so Punchline had made her own Joker gas, and she ended up, this issue took off from the last issue where she's hunting down clues and meets with a previous roommate of Punchline, and it's them talking through stuff, and then it clips over to Orca beating the crap out of Punchline, but basically. Bluebird and this guy are going through Punchline's old stuff. She gets gassed, and she's like, "Oh God, what happened?" And then she passes out, or is paralyzed, so to speak.
Yeah.
And this guy, turns out, was basically trapping her this whole time, and is about to blow up the place and burn it all down. So I want to see if she actually is. It's a nice little cliffhanger. I want to see how she gets out, how she's rescued, or whatnot. So I'm intrigued. I don't want to say I'm interested, but I'm intrigued.
Very good. I like that a lot. There you go. All right. So a bit of a mix of books for you to get your teeth into. The non-color version of the Red Hood. We can just call him the Hood from now on. Not confuse him with the guy from Arrow. It'll be fine. Is a bit of a change of pace. So you've got 4 distinct books there, to be honest. You've got you've got your mainstream Bat book. You've got something that's a little bit off kilter with Future State. You've got a digital first book, which is a harken back to the good old days of DC. And of course, you've got the Joker, which with his homage pieces to the Killing Joke is going to have some level of resonance for long-time fans as well as the newer people, newer fans of both Joker and Punchline. So it's a whole good mix. Matthew, we survived, mate. We
survived somehow.
We've survived. All right. So, Matthew, thank you very much for your time. I really do appreciate it.
I really appreciate you always having me on.
Always.
Or having me on, anyways.
Indeed. Don't forget to check the UCPN for all your favorite podcasts, including the Jank Think Tank and, of course, Old Timers Comic Book Show. The next episode, which airs a week today, it's a comparison show. We'll be comparing 2 mainstays of the 80s. We're comparing the Uncanny X-Men with the Tales of the Teen Titans and talking about one classic story from each. All right. So compare and contrast time on the Old Timers Comic Book Show.
I'm interested. I'm interested.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, guys. So as always, this is Johnny Machine Hughes saying adios.